Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Last of Us Rewatch podcast. We are on episode 9, which is the last episode of season 1. As always, spoilers for now the entire thing because we've gotten to the end.
Whole thing, all of
Uh,
it. As long as the game and the show end at the same point. Is that true?
it does.
It does. Okay,
So,
good. So everything,
yeah,
the whole show,
everything.
whole game.
Yeah.
Love it.
As always, I am Phil.
And I'm Jeff.
All right, so let's get into it. Episode 9.
Yes, episode 9 is called "Look for the Light," which you uh, told me is the second half of the Firefly. What would you call it?
I don't know. I've been calling it a creed, but it could be their motto. It
Yeah.
is their propaganda, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's their main recruitment tool. Is this slogan? How does the whole slogan go?
It's so when you're lost in the darkness, look for the light.
Okay. It is nice. I don't know if I would look. I don't know. Trying to think about like Ellie, and just a couple episodes ago when we saw her friend Riley being recruited, or we heard Riley telling her story. Um, I don't think that line would have worked on me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I guess like Riley was kind of lost because like she didn't have a purpose anymore. Or I mean, she did have a purpose. It was cleaning up shit. But like, uh,
That's an excellent point. She was looking for a light, and they were saying, "Hey, we're a
yeah.
light. Yeah, we're right here." Um, this episode begins with a woman running out of the woods. She's pregnant, and there's monstrous screaming, like not human screaming, so we know, right, exactly. Um, she's not looking for the light. She's just running.
I mean, she's looking for something, but she's not looking for light.
She's got to get the hell out of there. We see that it's the actress Ashley Johnson, who people our age will know as
Chrissy Seaver?
Chrissy Seaver, the young Chrissy Seaver from Growing Pains. She was the youngest of the Seaver children. Um, but she is now a grown person and an adult, and she's an actress, and she played Ellie in the game during all the
I thought
motion.
you were going to say that she played a waitress in the Avengers.
I mean, I'm gonna get to it. You don't jump ahead.
All right.
No, yeah, it's weird because I feel like everyone knows who she is. Maybe they don't, but she should be in tons of stuff. But she is Chrissy Seaver, the waitress in Avengers, and Ellie from The Last of Us. Um, and seeing her in this opening, I was thinking about like all the like casting for Ellie and how they landed on Bella Ramsey, and they really do look similar. Like I don't know if Bella Ramsey looks like Ellie, but Bella Ramsey looks like Ashley Johnson, who looks like Ellie. So I mean, it's like I don't know how they got there, but whatever she was doing in the scene, I was like, oh, I see it. It's totally there. So anyway, she's running out of the forest and she's headed towards this old farmhouse. She runs in and she shouts, "It's me," but no one replies. And then her water breaks, like it's baby time. So an infected person breaks in and she manages to kill it with a knife. Do we get any of this in the game, by the way?
Yeah, no, none of this is in the game. We
None of
don't.
this?
There's not even mention of Ellie's mom. I don't think.
Really?
Yeah, because like I'm trying to think now, like because they mention Ellie's mom earlier in episode 1. I think
Yeah.
Marlene mentions Ellie's
Marlene,
mom,
yeah, yeah. So
but
Marlene in the game doesn't mention how she was childhood friends with Ellie's mom.
no, like none of that is in the
It's like,
game.
I found this and
Yeah,
it's immune. I found this on the side of the road. Um, oh man, it really fleshes out how great the character is. Like it really is, it adds so much, this 5-10 minutes of video.
yeah.
So the infected person breaks in and she kills it, but she gets bit in the process. Or was she bit before this?
I think she gets bit in the process,
Okay.
because it seems like she finds out that she's bit in that scene, like after she kills the infected.
Okay, good. I mean, not good, but
Not
good.
for
I
her.
understand. Yeah. Good for Ellie because now, because Ellie was in the womb, she now has all of their powers, but none of their weaknesses.
Or the daywalker.
She's the daywalk. She's the what if she could walk and step on them, but not alert like she's the cordyceps walker. I did. I thought of Blade immediately. Yeah, it's probably just because I don't know, we're old and I love that movie. But so in the game they don't try to explain why Ellie's immune, do they?
I don't think they do. Again, because you spend like most of the game from Joel's point of view, like
Yeah,
he's not gonna go looking for that stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
totally makes sense. The baby cries, and oh, the baby comes out. The baby cries, and she says, "You tell him, Ellie. You're so tough." I love that. She's like pumping up her baby. And then Marlene and the Fireflies come to the house. Some time has passed. Um, she calls for it's Anna. Is the mom's name? Is that right?
I think that was the mom's name. Yeah.
And we can hear Anna singing to the baby. The Fireflies are delayed. The baby's hungry. Anna has not fed the baby because she's infected.
Infected, yeah.
Yeah. And she doesn't want to infect the baby. And she says to Marlene, her best friend for since childhood, that she got bit before or after the baby came out. After the birth. I guess that's what they call it in hospitals, right? Birth, not baby came out.
I mean, they call it both, I think.
I mean, oh God, can you imagine going in? You're the father, and you're like you go into a hospital, and you're like, where does baby come out? Oh, looks like it's gonna be a long talk. Uh, so she
Start with the
begs,
birds and the bees.
yeah, yeah. What a man loves a woman, and the baby comes out. Uh, so Anna begs Marlene to take. She says, take her to Boston, keep her safe. Her name is Ellie. Um, and basically, here's the baby. Now kill me. And Marlene's first instinct is, I can't. I can take the baby, but I can't kill you, which is tough. Like if you wanted me to kill you, I don't think I could kill you.
What if what if it was just like pressing a button?
Like a button on a gun.
I mean, that's more of a lever, I think, but like
Yeah.
if it was like a I'm trying to think of like, immediately my mind was like, what if it was like a dunk tank and like there was a pool of acid and but you would have to hit the target and like I'm just saying that'd be harder than just pressing a button.
I would have to hit the target with like a baseball from 10
Yeah.
paces back. I would not do that. I would refuse. Uh, it would be hard. Um, I feel like there are zombie stories or Walking Dead tales where instead of killing people, loved ones will just lock them up in a room.
Yeah, I feel like that definitely happened a lot in The Walking Dead. I'm trying to think. It's probably happened in like the Living Dead series, like Night of the Living Dead,
Sure.
Dawn of the
Yep.
Dead. And
I bet if it happened in real life, a zombie happen in real life, that would be common. They'd be like cause of death, loved one trapped in a room, and they didn't know, so they went
it
in.
also happens in Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, that's right. Oh, jeez. Gosh, I haven't watched Shaun of the Dead in forever. It's time for a rewatch. Okay, so Marlene hems and haws a bit, brings the baby into the hall. She says, "Take this," passes it off to somebody, and then she goes back in, and you hear the gunshot. So Anna's dead. Really impactful scene. Another like great like bottle opening, like standalone opening. Um, Loved
Yeah,
it. So good.
and we learned so much about like Ellie's backstory,
Yeah,
stuff that again wasn't in the game. And I don't even know it because like I think the knife that her mom has is the knife that Ellie has in the present day.
for real. Okay.
So like So like you see a bunch of scenes in throughout the series where like she's very like not protective, but like she needs the knife. She wants it back. Like every time like there's a when Joel and Ellie first meet, like she just wants the knife that like got kicked out of her hands or whatever, and then Joel kicks it away and she calls him a dick.
Yeah.
Um, so there's a bunch of scenes like that where like the knife is important to her.
So
But we
she
find
was,
out why now.
yeah, that's great. And we don't get that in the game, or does she not have a special knife in the game?
Um, I don't know because like part of the game mechanics in the first game is like you have to like make shivs to kill all the infected. But you always play as Joel, so like Joel doesn't have a knife per se, so
Okay.
he's constantly like finding a piece of glass, finding some tape, and then like
You did
making.
it, Joel.
So he's making constantly making shivs, and like I'm trying to think like when you play as Ellie, if you have any of that, or if like you don't have to do any of that because you have a knife.
Yeah. She, it's like they had the show and they're like, Joel has his watch. Ellie needs to have something just as special. I mean, it makes sense. It's cool. Joel has the watch in the game, right?
He does have to watch it, yeah.
My God, I got uh, after that sequence, we do jump to the present, and I don't know how long that sequence was, but the rest of the episode cooks. Like it
Yeah,
moves
it
so fast.
flies by.
Like it gets to the big action sequence towards the end, and I was like, oh my God, this is almost over. And it like, I mean, it really is. It moves. All right, so my first reaction was there was no snow, and I was like, what? How long has it been? Like when I wrote down, when are we? When are we?
Yeah, I don't know like exactly. I think in the game, like this is a different season. Like this section of the game is in a different season.
Right, you were talking on the last episode about how the game takes advantage of the seasons
Yeah,
to mark the passing of time. But that means they've been walking for a couple months at least, and
yeah,
Ellie's in a complete zombie state. She's like, "Oh, beefaroni? Great. Boggle? Sounds fun." Like she's basically a different kind of zombie because of what happened to her recently, which is understandable, but like we see Joel really trying to break her out of it. He's like, "Hey, I found this food you like. I found this game we could play. I saw a guitar. Would you like to learn how to play the guitar?" Can you imagine Joel in episode 2 talking to Ellie this way? Like
no, like they're completely different people now.
right, yeah, they're completely different people now. And yeah, it's almost like they flopped personalities a little bit, or like they flopped, intentions towards each other. But
They freaking fight at each other.
oh my God, okay, that's the one thing that this franchise is missing. All right, 2, time travel and Freaky Fridays. She- Just a complete switch. Okay. So she's in this major funk, and I was surprised that the passing of time, it had been so much time that had passed, but it makes sense. Do we know where they are?
I don't remember in the game like where like if they call out specifically what where they are in the U.S.
It's not like very far from where they were. Like they're not in like California or like
They're not in California. They're because they I guess spoilers for the rest of this episode. They make it back to Tommy's at the end, so
that's
like
right. Yeah, yeah. But they had a car,
yeah.
but they only had a tank of gas. And as was well established earlier, the gas is like water. Um So she's still in her funk, but they get into a town or a city and they agree that they need to go up in this skyscraper to scout. She is super distracted. She drops a ladder. Joel, there's a sequence where Joel is chasing her, like trying to catch up with her. And I was like, oh, that's very video game. That's what sort of like Ellie like dashes this way and you gotta run and turn, and then you just see her dash this way. But then it leads them to the giraffe garden. Very much like Jurassic Park where they find the peaceful dinosaurs when they're trying to rest, and they're just like, "Oh my God," and, they have a moment. Joel and Ellie have a moment with Jeffrey, and it does break Ellie out of her funk. and she's smiling and happy, and we see Joel appreciate that, and I appreciate it. Then he sees me appreciate him appreciating her. It was a beautiful moment for the three of us and the giraffe. Is this in the game or something like this?
So like this sequence is like almost directly from the game.
Good. Yeah, it seems like a real moment. So like, it seems right to, if it was in the game, to spend the extra money and get that giraffe on
Yeah.
set.
Well, so like so there are parts of the game where like and I think I mentioned this in a previous episode where like Naughty Dog has this kind of like sequence of gameplay type, I guess, where like it's not like you're not actually like trying to complete an objective, you're just kind of existing in the world. So like this is one of those sequences. And the thing about this part is like you can stay with the drafts for as long as you want.
Real.
Like you could just like stand there and like admire the drafts, and like the game doesn't really like push you to go anywhere.
Oh my God. But does time change? Does it become dark?
I have never stayed there that long.
Okay. You're just like, I'm just gonna leave my controller here. I'm gonna go take a nap and I'll be back. See what happens. Um, yeah, the giraffes are in like the giraffe pieces out and Ellie runs after him and Joel runs after Ellie. And then it opens up and we see that the giraffes are in a ballpark, like a baseball field. And to anyone who does want to know where they are, that's got to be the biggest clue because there's a big like you can see part of the city and you can see the baseball field, and it probably says whatever San Diego Padres or it probably says something, and you're like, I know where I am. Joel talks a lot about risk. He's like, "Ugh, God, we saw Panic Attack Joel trying to change everything around, but we're at a point now where he talks about risk and he says we don't have to do this. Like he's giving her an out, which is great of him. But it's almost more like he wants the out.
Yeah.
He doesn't want he doesn't want it to happen because he doesn't okay. He doesn't want her to go to the Fireflies and go through this testing because he doesn't want her to be hurt or disappointed or whatever. He is protecting her. So he's giving her this out, and she has a great speech about like after everything we've done, she says after everything I've done, after everything we've been through, it can't be for nothing. But then she tries to reassure him by saying, "I'll follow you anywhere you go after this. But there's no halfway. We need to finish what we started." Which is again like that's Joel. That's what Joel would say earlier. Maybe not, because he was a like if Ellie had died in episode 2, do you think he would have been upset?
I think he would have brought Ellie's body to the Fireflies to get his truck.
Yeah, you got that battery? Oh my God.
Finish what he
Quick,
started, man.
battery. I need that car battery. It was very sweet of it's a great scene because he's reassuring her or he's protecting her and she's reassuring him, and they're in it. They know they're a team at this point. Like there's no whatever happens, they're together, which is
Yeah.
um oh, the baseball field is connected to or nearby what they walk through next, which is an emergency medical camp. Oh, Joel reveals where he got his scar. Then this must be in the game too. Do you want to tell what his scar's about? His scar story?
I believe it is in the game. So he tells the story about like how he tried to kill himself basically. And he says he missed. I think the sequence goes like Ellie asked like I think he's been there before. Ellie says, "Would the guy miss?" And he's like, "Yeah, it was I missed." So and he tried to kill himself. So this was sometime after Sarah died, and he was
He says it was the second day,
his second day.
so it
Yeah,
was like the day after Sarah died, um, which is brutal. But he must have been in a really bad place, obviously. I'm glad that's in the game though, because it feels so important, and for them to reveal it this late in the game is really cool too.
Well, I,
Um,
I think what's kind of telling about their relationship now is that they are both like very open to each other now.
right? Yeah.
Um, he talks about I think he talks about Sarah in this section too, right?
Yeah.
Like imagine like Joel and Ellie at the beginning of the show and like where Joel doesn't want to share anything with Ellie. Like he's like we don't talk about our pasts. We just go on from point A to point B, your cargo. And now like he's telling like very personal stories about himself.
Yeah. Later on, he does the whole comparison thing where he compares them, and it's almost like he knows that this is Ellie's love language. Like she wants to be open, she wants to share, but she's beyond that. She's gone through the same sort of trauma that Joel went through, and now she's a mess. But aren't they a pair? So Joel's he says, "I'm in the mood for shitty puns," and Ellie is too. They get through three of them, and then someone is like, "Enough with the puns." And they throw a flash grenade. It has nothing to do with anything else other than they needed the puns to stop. Anything.
Heard enough.
I've heard enough. Yeah. That's enough. Here, take this. So it goes off, and both of them are knocked out. Joel wakes up. He spots the fire. The first thing he sees is the firefly symbol, which is great. And then he sees Melanie. She's there to greet him. And seeing Melanie there, I was like, oh, I like refresh my memory. I'm sure they talk about it a lot in the first episode, but why didn't Melanie take Ellie with her?
So she was injured in that first episode. Yeah, first episode. Um, so like she would have taken Ellie herself if not for the fact that she had a giant gaping hole in her midsection, I think. And so like in that same scene, like one of her like subordinates was like, I can take Ellie. And she's like, you don't have an ear.
He's
And she's like totally missing an ear.
That's crazy. I don't remember that. Why don't I remember that?
So I like I think the from like I think I don't know if they say this in the show, but they definitely mention it in the game. Like I think like Joel and Ellie were making their like way across the US to get to the Firefly base or whatever.
Oh,
And
right.
then Marlene was
Tess
doing
and
the
Joel
same
were.
thing.
Yeah, so they were like, "Oh, you're going that way too? Here's a tag along." Yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. So we cut to Ellie, who's in prep for surgery. Um, oh no, 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 no. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Melanie explains that Ellie, because Joel's first concern is where is Ellie. Melanie explains that she's being prepped for surgery, and she explains what they're going to do. They're going to remove the cordyceps within her and then duplicate it in a lab. And then Joel says, "But it grows in the
The
brain."
brain.
Joel is not happy about this. Um, Melanie says, oh, well, Melanie tries to make him see it from the world's perspective. Like the world has a chance to get a cure. Ellie would make that sacrifice. She's arguing. But what can Joel do? Like he's there. The fireflies are all around him, and Melanie says, "Walk him out to the highway," and she lets him live basically, and says, get him out. He can go. Let him go free. But if he does anything, take him. Shoot him. Which I think is nice of her, but there's no way that of course it's going to go a different way. So there's two foolish guards walking Joel down the hallway, and Detective Joel's in full. He's spotting everything. He's like, he looks at a sign and sees where all the floors are and basically figures out where he has to go. And then I tried to keep count of how many people he kills.
Oh, yeah.
it's it's 9 on screen, and then just bodies that he's walking past. I'm going to ask you later what was the most video game moment. I feel like it has to be this because it was probably just as many. If in the game, this is
Was
the
more,
final mission of the game. Yeah, it's probably like 30 people, right? uh, he goes on a rampage. He kills everybody, everyone. except the nurses. What is this like in the game? Because this is the final boss.
It's the final action sequence
Yeah.
of the game. So I mean, it basically plays out like you see on screen in the show in this episode. There are a lot more Fireflies who try to stop Joel. Like it's not a small place. I mean, it's probably like 20 to 30 Fireflies. I don't know. It's so hard to gauge how many people you're killing uh as you're killing them, I guess.
Yeah, and it's a Naughty Dog game, and I've played a lot of Uncharted, and Nathan Drake is a straight up murderer. Like he
Yeah, serial
murders
killer.
hundreds of people per game. So yeah, it's got to be it's like it's so many dead people. I can only imagine. A quick window watch moment in this. I think the second or third guy is shot through a window. I thought that was fun, but I was sad to say that that was the only window I spotted. That of significance. Joel eventually finds Ellie. There's a doctor and a couple nurses in there, and Joel says, unhook her from the wires and all. The doctor says, he says something, right? What does he say? Like, you're gonna have to kill me. And Joel's like, bam! He kills the doctors, the nurses unhook her, and he carries her out. And then I was surprised that the elevators were working, but everything else was on. So why wouldn't the elevators?
So I will say that this part, like the part of the game where you're in the operating room, like so like after I played it the first time, the second time around, like I was like, can I not shoot them?
Yeah,
And you cannot. Like you have to shoot at least the doctor.
at
Um,
least.
you I think you can get away with not shooting any of the nurses.
Okay.
But the first time around, I did shoot everybody in that room. It was a
Nice,
bloodbath.
nice and clean. You got no witnesses. That's very the wrong way to put that, but uh, that's it's crazy that they wouldn't like. Wouldn't it be cool if they set this up where Metal Gear Solid style, where you could sneak Ellie out or like talk talk your way out? I don't know. I guess it's a cure, so whatever. Um, it was good. I wrote down it was good the elevators are working because there were too many bodies on the stairs. Like he kills at least three people on the stairs. So navigating that with an unconscious person,
Yeah,
he gets down.
tripping hazard.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then they fall and and break their necks. Who needs that? They get down to the garage and Melanie's down there. Um, and this is basically their big, you know, right versus wrong. The greater good.
Yeah,
She says you can't keep her safe forever. This is the world. The world is broken. It's just the world she lives in. Joel says it's not for us to decide, which part of me agrees with. It's for Ellie to decide. Melody points out that Ellie would choose this. She would want to save people.
yeah. I think at some point she even says like, we'll wait till she wakes up and then we'll ask her."
Yeah. And Joel's like, God bless. uh, she's like, we could still find a way. And then it cuts away to them in a car with music playing. And you don't know what happened. And I actually wrote in my notes, he must have killed Melanie, right? Um, and we find out that he did. Like later on, we see the flashback where he does kill her. It's because it's the only way they would have got her out in the game. I imagine you have to kill her too.
So like you don't actually control this part of it. I don't think. So like everything like from when you walk out of that elevator to like I mean later on when you can like after they've gotten out of the Firefly camp, I guess. Like you don't control that part of it. You just watch it. Essentially like you watched it in the show.
Okay. So in the car, Ellie wakes up and she wants answers, like what's happening.
Yeah. Where are my
Joel
clothes?
Joel lies to her. He lies bad. Yeah, where are my clothes? Where is everybody? Why are we in a car? Joel lies to her about everything. He says they decided they don't want to find a cure anymore.
He says like it turns out there was a lot of people like you. Like they didn't it was for not like they couldn't find a cure with those people, so yeah.
Right. So we're good. And then, like he says that the base was under attack, so they needed to he's like, I barely got you out. And Ellie says, were people hurt? And I don't know if Joel responds. Does he say like I don't know. He's unclear, but it's clear that Ellie knows something is up, right? Like, does she know? I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough to figure out what she knows and what she would think about it. They drive as far as they can to Tommy, and then they have a 5-hour hike after that, which sucks, but at least she has clothes now. And this is where Joel talks about Sarah, and it's very sweet the way he compares them, but he does it in a kind way where he's like, "Oh, Sarah had a great smile." Not to say that you don't, he's not a dick about it. He's very careful with her, and I appreciated that. I thought that was great. Um, but he says she'd like you because you're funny. They get to the destination in sight, and this is the last moment, right, where they can see the town, and Ellie straight up is like, what happened? Or no, she tells him the story. Back in Kansas City, I told you about the first time I killed someone, and then she tells him about Riley, and we find out definitively that Riley turned, and Ellie had to kill her. I thought to bookend this episode, she was going to say the first person I killed was my mother, but no, that doesn't make sense. If she died I mean, did she died in childbirth? Kinda cause of death.
I mean, a little bit after childbirth, like she was out for a little bit at least.
I mean, something else killed her. It was just the same day. So it's not Ellie's fault. So she overshares there, which is great. And Joel says he tries to like calm her and reassure her. And one of the things he says is just keep going, which is exactly what Riley says to Ellie in that moment. And he says you got to find something new to fight for. And then Ellie says, swear to me what you said about the Fireflies was true. He says, I swear. And then Ellie takes a hard pause and she says, okay. There's no way she believes him. She wants to believe him. But the whole second season has got to be about the lie, her finding it out, and how it rips them apart. Maybe not the whole season, maybe but a couple episodes.
I mean, we'll get to that. So this is exactly how the game ends. Like, okay is the last line of dialogue that you hear. Cut to
Satisfying,
credits.
very satisfying TV ending. How was it in a game though, as an ending?
I mean, it's such a it's like it's so great because I think that okay is like it's so like you can read so much into it.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like, and for a game to end that way is very unusual. Like like usually when you're playing a video game, it is very much like a triumphant like whatever you've beat the empire or whatever thing. This is very much like a like it's a thought-provoking ending, which I think a lot of people kind of echoed that sentiment, which is why The Last of Us kind of became as big as it is now.
Yeah, that's the kind of ending that sticks with you. Like you don't forget about it. It's not like it's not forgettable. Well, that's great. Anyway, Fades to Black, and uh, we're gonna do a whole episode about the season as a whole, and we're gonna look towards season two. We're gonna do that next after not here in another video.
Next episode.
Video is the right word I was looking for. But what did you think of this episode as a whole? How does it rank? Is it like one of the stronger episodes, or was it? I mean, it really does fly by. It's kind of like
Yeah,
what?
like that's the first thing that I thought of when I was watching this episode, even watching the episode the second time around, knowing like exactly what happens in this episode, after having played the game a couple times, and then watching first season, and then like I was still surprised at how fast everything moves.
So fast. It's so fast.
So like it's a great episode. Obviously, that ending, like the choices that Joel makes, in the show, and in the game. Um, it like it's great television. It's a great story, and I'm glad that like more people are exposed to it now um because like probably however many millions of people have watched The Last of Us show, like a subset of that have played the game. So now the story's like has much wider audience, which I'm grateful for.
It's amazing. Yeah. Before we move on to I have a few questions for you. But before that, let's try to put ourselves into Ellie and Joel's shoes. If you were Joel, could you do what he did? And if you were Ellie, would you want to be sacrificed knowingly?
I mean, I think the Ellie question is probably easier for me. Like, um, if I were immune and like I had the opportunity to potentially cure the rest of the world, I think that's kind of a no brainer for me. Like, I would do it.
Talk about a no-brainer. They have to get
Yeah,
you
no
the
brainer. Yeah, just like, but it,
grant. I agree completely on the Ellie half. Like the greater good. Like I mean, I'm tired anyway. Like
yeah,
just take it out.
lived a long enough life, been fine.
Not sure where Detroit is. Call back to to our conversations throughout. So yeah, I'm with you there. What about Joel? Let's say this was someone you really love, like the most important person in the world to you. Would you do what he did?
So, I mean, that is such a hard choice. Like, um, especially if you know that that other person would have wanted to do that, like wanted to sacrifice themselves for it. It's like I think it's honestly it's probably like a 50-50 decision, like a coin flip. Like you go either way for me. Like
Yeah, it's tough because like your natural instinct would be to be like, let them wake up, let them make the choice, and then plan B is let's try everything else. Let's
yeah,
try blood. Let's try partial lobotomy. Let's not go full brain right away. Like, but it's true. It would come down to like death no matter what. Couldn't live with it. I would not that I would. I would do death by Firefly. I would charge them and
yeah.
kill me. Yeah, I couldn't deal with it. All right. What was the most video game moment of this episode?
I mean, I know you mentioned the whole like you know last action scene basically. But as I was watching the episode, the thing that felt most video game to me was like actually right before the draft scene where Joel's like, "I'm gonna boost you up. You drop this ladder down so I can climb up."
Yeah,
Like
yeah, totally. Yeah.
that was to me, I was like, that is definitely a video game thing.
In the game, does she drop the ladder like
She
she does?
does drop a ladder.
Uh, um, not like I said, not much on window watch, but the one we get is pretty cool. Shot through we see this silhouette of a guy walking by a frosted window, and Joel's like, pop, pop, pop. Um, normally, as the show's going on, I write down the options for this next question, which is how would you like to die? But I only wrote down one. I think because there were so many deaths, I was overwhelmed. um, it's shot through a window. That's what I wrote down. But there's got to be other great ones.
I
Like,
mean, well, I mean, you missed Anna in the opening. Like she gets shot by Marlene.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, shot by your best friend,
Yeah.
shot through a window by a Joel, by Pedro Pascal. Um, are there any deaths in that sequence that are especially cool? Like Daredevil
Uh,
in a hallway, cool, or
I don't think anything is that cool.
yeah,
It's not like
my God,
somebody got hit by an air conditioner.
yeah. Could you imagine? Yeah, so let's say uh, we'll give you three: shot through a window, killed by your best friend after you've just had a baby, try to get in that headset, or uh, your pre-op about to about to take someone's brain out, and someone stops you.
I mean, so I don't want to get shot by my best friend. Not not because I don't want to get shot by my best friend, but because I don't want to like I don't want to have childbirth. Like I don't want to push a child out of my body. I feel like that would be worse than any other death in the whole series.
Yeah, it could be like painless, like sleep, die in your sleep, but right before you do, childbirth.
Yeah.
The
So
miracle.
not that.
It's the miracle of life, though.
It's the miracle of life. But like why who designed our bodies like that? Like why?
Yeah, it's yeah, it's a mess. So,
Um
shot through
so
the
not
window.
that. Like getting shot through the window and then the doctor getting shot at the end, like both of them are relatively quick and well, like, you know, you're dead almost instantly. I think I want to be a guy in the window though, because like I don't know what's coming.
It's true. He's just being sneaky beaky like, and it just hits him. Although shards of glass probably as well. And then Joel comes around the door to the other side of the windows, and he shoots him again just to make sure he's dead, which I think is super sweet. Later on, he silently kills a guy with a knife. That's terrible. That should have been on the list. Whatever, it's too late. The list is in stone. The murdering is done for the season. We look to the future in our next. We're not going to do it now, but we'll do it in the next episode.
Yeah, we'll do a recap
Yes.
of season one. Any final thoughts we have on our season one, and then look forward towards season two,
Yes, I'm excited. You said
which will be coming out soon.
you mentioned you were going to ask me what I think happens, and I'm not going to say anything now because I was like, oh, that's a great idea because I'm not sure what happens.
Yeah, so like I have played Last of Us Part Two, the game.
I have not.
Um, so I know at least what happens in the game. I don't know how different it will be, because there are like I would say like, and maybe we'll get into this in the next episode. Like, there's a fair amount of differences between the show and the game, especially like with the stuff that they added. Um, so if they go further with that, it could could be completely different. Not completely, but like it'd be vastly different than what I played in the game. But uh, before we sign off, I don't. Did you
Forgot. I was busy today.
look at this? Look at this! Look at this thing.
Good. You got a good one. Is that a manager special again?
It is the size like of half my face.
That's a
Like
face donut.
look how big that is.
That's thick too.
So this is from a place called Hill Pancake Company and Donut House, something like that. It's a local donut shop. They also do barbecue. I don't know if they stuff the barbecue in the donuts.
I mean, they must, right? The even if they don't, it must soak in the aromas.
Yeah, so they have all different kinds of donuts. Like this is like these are ridiculously huge. Um, they have the I've never gotten it, but they have like a Cookie Monster um donut, but it's basically like a blue like frosting on the top with like eyes, so it looks like Cookie Monster with his mouth open.
Well, that's fun. Um, while you're doing that, I'll say I took the family to Universal last year. I can't remember, but they have a Simpsons Land, and in Simpsons Land you can buy a big pink donut, and it's big. It is really like it is really the size of your head. It's kind of crazy. But I had like we got one and we didn't eat it till the next day, and it was a little stale. And I'm like, how long has this donut been sitting there? And probably a while because I feel bad. They can't be making giant donuts all day. Too
I
big.
wonder how many giant donuts they sell a day.
I mean, probably a lot actually.
Yeah,
Yeah. And why are we eating donuts?
because we're taking the donut. This is a take the donut challenge, I guess. So like I was watching or listening to a Halt and Catch Fire Rewatch podcast where the woman who hosts it, she's a keynote speaker, and her topic is "Take the Donut," which means to her, seize the day. So she took the opportunity to take the donut of rewatching *Halt and Catch Fire* and then making a podcast about it. So we're making a podcast about *Last of Us*, rewatching it, and we're taking donuts as well, or at least I am.
I wish I remembered. I'm an idiot. um, does she eat a donut ever on the podcast?
I've listened to 6 or 7 episodes, and she's never taken one donut.
Ugh. Ugh. Does she mention take the donut challenge every time?
Every single time.
Oh, it's the opening. It's
It is the opening, yes.
I mean, I gotta hear this before season 2 of The Last of Us. Um, it's shameful that she hasn't had a donut. We need to find out where her PO box is and send her some
Send her some stale ass donuts.
donut. Here's the
Through the
manager
mail.
special for real. This is last week's manager special. All right.
All right, guys. So,
We will see you next time. Yeah.
this is episode 9 of Last of Us, but we have one more episode left of our rewatch or recap, I guess we'll call it. And that'll be next time. So, see you guys later.